I discovered my wife was leading a double life as a secret agent, and I'm not sure if I'm in love with her or terrified of her. I 35 and met my wife 30th 5 years ago through mutual friends. We had a whirlwind romance, and I proposed to her after just 6 months of dating. She said yes, and we got married a year later. Everything seemed perfect. My wife was beautiful, smart, and loving. She was a freelance writer, and I was a software engineer. We lived a comfortable life in the suburbs, with a big house and 2 cars. But about a year ago, I started noticing strange things. My wife would receive mysterious phone calls in the middle of the night, and she would leave the house for hours at a time, without telling me where she was going. At first, I thought she was having an affair. But as I dug deeper, I discovered something much more sinister. One night, I followed my wife as she left the house. She drove to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, where she met with a group of heavily armed men. I was terrified. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I had to get out of there. I turned around and drove back home, my heart racing with fear. The next day, I confronted my wife about what I had seen. She just smiled and told me I was being paranoid, but I knew what I had seen, and I knew I had to keep digging. Over the next few weeks, I discovered more and more evidence of my wife's secret life. I found a hidden safe in our house, filled with guns, passports, and cash. I found a secret phone she had been using to communicate with her contacts, and I even found a fake identity she had created for herself, complete with a new name and backstory. It was like something out of a spy novel, and I was both fascinated and terrified by it. As I dug deeper, I discovered that my wife was working for a top-secret government agency. She was a secret agent, tasked with taking down high-stakes targets and gathering intelligence from around the world. I was stunned. I had no idea my wife was capable of such things, and I wasn't sure if I was in love with her or terrified of her. As I struggled to come to terms with what I had discovered, my wife walked into the room. She looked at me with a mixture of concern and amusement. "You know, don't you?" she asked, a hint of a smile on her face. I nodded, still trying to process everything. "Well, I suppose I have some explaining to do," she said, sitting down next to me. And with that, she began to tell me the whole story, about how she had been recruited by the agency, about her training and missions, and about the secrets she had been keeping from me. As I listened, I felt my mind reeling. I didn't know what to think or feel, but as I looked at my wife, I knew one thing for sure: I was in this for the long haul, no matter what secrets she might be keeping. Subscribe for more.